was good. All right, folks. Back in on the acoustics. They're both to this stage. Don't have any of the, I don't have the transverse brace in or the upper brace, and I don't have these little reinforcement sticks in here yet. So I wanted to show you what to do with it. Oh, so the other top, I actually remembered to bevel the edges and sand them a little bit before I glued it in. This one I forgot, I left it square, so I took my two cherries bent chisel here, which is what I plan on using to carve. I probably should have gotten a wider one. When I pre-ordered this thing a couple years ago, planning on doing acoustics, I need a wider one. But this is going to have to do, because I have all sorts of different sizes of the Marple chisels, and I have 2 or 3 more of those actually. I bought the full set. And those are great, but I thought the bent chisel might be a little, might work better in that situation, in brace carving. Also, I've talked about these before. This is just a nail file. This is a Revlon, I think they call them memory boards. And I bought a package of them at Walmart once. One side's coarser than the other, but after I chiseled a little bit of a bevel on there, just didn't want square edges on the bridge plate. Although, I mean, there's plenty of guitars out there with square edges. I just thought it would be a little nicer to have. If you're in there feeling around, you don't feel a square edge. And then I cut the bevels on the end so that I could take the beveled edge and work right up against the brace, which you can't see on that side. I'll turn it that way. So you can see how the bevel will allow you to get right up into here and file that end. Also, you can take it this way and file right up into it. And then you got 2 grits, so basically I did that with the coarser one and I did it with the finer one. And then I just sanded the plate in general with that thing, which has got 220 on it or something, 180 maybe, I'm not sure. And that's plenty as well. Blow the dust off of that. So I am about to get ready to start cutting the wood, the brace material out for the upper transverse. So I don't remember who I bought this from. These 2 top braces are large, and then there's a couple of really big ones on the back as well. I shouldn't say really big, but bigger than what was supplied with that brace wood. So I'm looking at these billets here, and not only at the end, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it there. It looks pretty dark, but the quarter saw in here is perfect. So I'm very happy with that on all of these billets, and yeah, they're all very, very good. And then looking at the smoother side of the boards here, there's one side that's a little rougher. You can see that, and you won't be able to see it, but I can see that the grain parallels the edge very well. So these probably were split and then just cleaned up. So I'm going to go with them being pretty much ready to go here. So I'll figure out what sizes I need, bandsaw things to approximately the size, and then either use my joiner or hand plane from there to clean things up, and then get things rough cut and glued in here. Now the top of the top plate does not, this here is flat, so I won't be sanding any radiuses into any of this. Now on the backs, I do have to sand the 15-foot radiuses into those before I glue them in. I'm going with the pretty stock Martin plan here in this case, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go do some rough cutting on this stuff, and I'll bring you in when I'm doing something that warrants filming. Double sticking these blocks down. Hopefully I'm in the camera. I don't have my monitor running right now. So I'm counting on the setup I had. Let's just move this back a little bit. All right, so I just put some double stick on this, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them once I get the tape off. So there's that. Going to stick it down like so. And I just have that point contacting because I want to be able to get as much glue cleanup as possible. So that's stuck. And we'll do this one. And I put a this is 8 inches. I put a 4-inch line first so I could just center it up rather than trying to measure in from the ends. So I'm just centering it off of the center line in the top. And I am lining things up, and then I'll stick that on. You might be able to tell this is a little rough. This is a little over 1/8 of an inch, which is what the finished dimension is supposed to be. So rather than run that through the sander again, I'm just gonna, sand it off, plain and sand it off in place. All right, so we're good. Check my camera, make sure we're still in the frame. Close enough. I suppose we could just focus on the end I'm working on more so. There we go. Once again, fish glue. Now this I did flip the dish over, so I'm on a flat surface now. So you can see this rocking. There's only a 30 foot radius in the top of this. It's actually still got quite a bit of a bow to it. But we're going to go ahead and glue this. It's kind of a good trick to make sure you have enough glue, but at the same time not have so much squeeze out that's a big pain in the butt. But I'd rather clean up a little extra glue than not be confident that I have enough glue on it. And so I'm going to I've got good coverage, but I'm just going to put a little bead right down the middle just so that it can go in there and spread out if it needs to do that. All right. And so here we go. Just centering that up so it hangs the same on each side. I'm going to just stick that there and let it do its thing for a second. Now the end of the transverse brace is going to get carved down to the same thickness as the ends of the X braces and then get cut into the rims. I don't know if I was smearing that glue on camera or not. Okay, add just a little bit more. Call that good. And then do the same thing here. Just line up my center mark on this one. Oops, push myself away. All right, so while I'm giving that a chance to kind of sit there, I'll pull some sticks down. Now I managed to break a couple of these the other day on the last glue up, the bridge. For some reason, the bridge glue up, I broke a couple sticks. I don't know if I filmed that or not, but I made a call to sit on because it's thinner than everything else, and plus I didn't want to dent it. So I made a call and I put packing tape on this side so it wouldn't stick. and then I put that on top, and I also had the little blocks behind to push it into the X-brace so it wouldn't drift. All right, now what I'm trying to figure out is, I think I have to go this way. Yeah, I do, to make sure I'm pushing it into the blocks. So if I came from the other direction, my force would be down, but it would also be that direction. So I want to make sure I get pressure toward the blocks. This is a thicker, that's got a lot of tension on it. Now I'm nervous about snapping these things. I'm going to move these so they're more centered in the space I have there. Actually, I wonder what Harrison Ford's doing right now. I just watched Raiders again. I was traveling and I preloaded that in my iPad. Watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, I should probably put something on top of this because I wish I'd have thought of that. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other one just to raise it up a little bit and put that on there. And now this one I've got to actually come from the other direction because I want it to push the other way. So I'm going to reach through there and hopefully have it shoot. You know what? I can't see my center line now. Still good, but I'm going to put one on this side so that I can see it. Up and down. All right, this piece actually gets rounded off from front to back, so there'll be a little bit of an arc across the top of that. All right. You know, this is really the first serious go-bar deck work I've done, and there's a kind of a little learning curve to this. As you can see. Now, I mentioned before, some of these sticks aren't quite as big around, and I got them all, I mean, they're all called out as 5/16, but some of them are a little bigger. And there's actually a taped bundle, so it's not like I got the wrong ones. Somebody mixed them up or something. All right. You know, I'm also pretty sure that if I continue to do this past these two, which I'm sure I will, because this is possibly even more addicting than building electric guitars, because you have so much setup to get, to do, just to, with molds and forms and all that, and go-bar decks, so much stuff going on that you kind of think, well, if I'm going to do all that, I'm going to build more than a couple of these things. But then when you change sizes, you got to build all this stuff for the next size as well. So I may only offer OMs for a while. But this is a 12-fret OM, and it doesn't have the real squared off shoulders that the 14-fretters do, or something. And that's a little different. So apparently I got plenty of glue. And I had made myself a better glue remover stick. Oops, isn't that toothpick, popsicle stick. And here it is. I think you've been introduced previously. The ends of these things get trimmed all the way down to the soundboard. This other bracer. I got to figure out what those things are called. I feel like an idiot not knowing what I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't know if I completed the thought or not, but if I continue to do this, I'm going to have to build a sturdier go-bar deck, I think. Clean some of this up. Give them about 20-30 minutes and come in here and pull this off of here and then clean everything up really well. Pull these blocks off.